Okay, this is Katy Perry's chart, and what you see right away is that she has a basket configuration. She has most of her planets on one side and then opposite of the handle, which would be Chiron and the North Node. And anyway, so she has the Sun, which is here, Pluto, which is here. I've never used this thing before. This is funny. And Mercury and Saturn and the Moon and the Power of Fortune and her South Node, all in Scorpio. And so when you're looking at this, it's Scorpio rules the house of sexuality and secrets, the occult, psychology. She could have any of those themes all around her, self-image. And so with Saturn and Mercury being conjunct her ascendant, which is this black line here, that's the ascendant. And so when you see planets conjunct the ascendant, they're as much a ruler as her ascendant. And so her career and communications, because Mercury rules communications and Saturn rules career, so a communicative career is the ruler of her chart. And then her sun and her sun's up here, and that's in her house of intuition. So it could bring her a lot of intuitive creativity. And also the voice is ruled by Taurus, and Taurus normally rules the second house, and Taurus is ruled by Venus, and so Venus is right there, down here. I don't know if you can see it. It's in Sagittarius, and but it's Venus rules the voice, and also opposite. I mean, you look at where Taurus rules in her chart, and it rules her North Node, and that's this little symbol on the right. And excuse me. So her voice is use of the voice could be her destined path, because that's the node of destiny. And it's in the house of partnerships, her North Node is, and partnerships and marriage, but any type of partnership. So use of the voice with partnerships. And then let's see, she has also back down by Venus and her South Node, she has, I can't see this thing. Okay, she has Uranus, and that's where your point of genius is, and that's making money through your own efforts. And it's in Sagittarius, which rules foreign and long distance communications, and also foreign and long distance travel. But she has just this huge amount of energy on that side of the chart, and that's the initiating side of the chart. And so she has a lot of using her sexuality for career, using her voice for career, using her intuition for career, using her power of fortunes in that house, her moon, which rules the emotions and feelings. She just has everything wrapped up in her communications and in her career. And she could have secrets involving her career, or possibly, the way people dress is and come across is ruled by that house of self-image. So Scorpio is more of an occult vibe, or like goth vibe. Um, so the way she dressed might come across that way. Now her Mars is actually down in the sign that rules career, and Mars is the ruler of the self-image. And so she might be more methodical about the way she chooses to use her energy, or structure the way she uses her energy. And this is Mars down here at the bottom. I'm using this little, whatever this is, a pen to circle things, and it's conjunct Jupiter, which that's rules the house of Sagittarius, the long distance matters, and long distance and foreign connections and so forth. Now, also in the house of Sagittarius, she has Neptune, which can be a confusing energy, but it's also an intuitive energy, and what's connected to your unconscious. And it's in the second house of how you earn your values and your luxuries and your possessions and so forth. And so and Neptune rules creativity, the imagination, and so she uses her imagination to obtain money that she obtains through her own money, possessions, and luxuries through her own efforts. And I pointed out already, Uranus is also in that house, and Uranus is at the point of genius. So she is ingeniously connected to how, and intuitively connected to how to obtain money through her own efforts. And I wanted to say a person's roots, where they come from, what their inner makeup is down on the bottom. It's the Imam Quelli, and I'm circling it. It's in Aquarius for her, so she has this unusual home life, unusual beginnings, unusual roots, and unusual or ingenious roots and makeup. That's the deepest part of you, or where you come from, where you what you base yourself on. And so she has this unusual energy that she bases her personality on. And then at the top of that is the midheaven up there in Leo, and usually Leo you see at the top of someone's chart that's going to be very much in the public eye. That is where you're public. That's how the public sees you. That's how you're perceived in public. And so she's perceived as very charismatic and energetic, creative, and she shines in the public. That's the sun. Leo is ruled by the sun, so it's where you shine. Her personality is right out there in the open, and that's pretty common to see Leo Aquarius axis for someone in the public eye, having Leo at the top of the chart. Now, the things that the other things that I haven't pointed out, this vertex right here in the 8th house of sexuality, that's the type of people that you might unconsciously attract. And in the 8th house, that means you're magnetically attracting sensual people, and then it's in Gemini, and that through your communication somehow you magnetically attract people that are into maybe the occult, or into you attract other people's money, you attract gifts and inheritances and everything that the 8th house and Scorpio rule, because that 8th house rules Scorpio, and Scorpio is a magnetic sign, and so and sexual, and so she might attract people who are very sexual, or psychologically unusual or secretive, keep a lot of secrets under the surface. And that goes along also with all those planets that she has in Scorpio, which Scorpio is just the most secretive sign, but it's also the most magnetic and powerful, have a powerful psychological makeup. And so she has a lot of powerful psychological under the current, almost as it's just an ocean of all this magnetic energy underneath. And then I always like to look at Chiron, and it's where people can't heal themselves, and that's on the right hand side there above her north node, and it's in the house of Gemini. So she might find it, for her it's ruled by Gemini, and it's in the house of the partnerships and marriage, and so maybe because for her it's in Gemini, maybe some kind of communications in partnership, she doesn't always feel like she can heal herself or fix things like she wants, but other people perceive her as very conversationally or vocally talented. Chiron is where it's called the wounded healer, and it's where you heal other people, but not necessarily feel that you are healing yourself, or unable to heal yourself in that area. And then in the 5th house of entertainment, she has Lilith, which I can't find the little thing to get down there. Oh dear, where is it? Okay, there it is. So Lilith is in her 5th house of entertainment, and that is in Aries, and that's where you're maybe it's a dark sexual energy. It's like this vortex of sexual energy, but in Aries is your self-image and the ruler of yourself, and for her it's in the house of entertainment, and so it basically goes along with all that sensual energy that Scorpio brings to her ascendant and 1st house, and the sun and Mercury and her career and her emotions and Pluto. And I made a mess of the way this looks, but I didn't address the aspects which she has some maybe places that she can't resolve or has tension between, or causes her tension with the red lines. You see red lines going back and forth in the middle. The thicker ones are more a harsher aspect, and might cause her some tension between where they are, and it looks like maybe her power of fortune and her outer image. She may feel like there's some tension between her fortune and her outer image, and then the other one is between Neptune, which it rules confusion, and the vertex, which rules what kind of people that you attract to you, or magnetically attract to you without your own volition. So maybe she has some confusion about the people that she attracts to her. I mean, maybe that she has some tension because of that red line, which is a harsher aspect. And then with the blue lines, they're easy aspects. It looks like that sensual image is maybe yeah, it looks like an easy aspect between Mercury and, I mean, between Venus, which makes her very beautiful, sensually attractive. And then the Chiron is opposing that, so maybe she doesn't feel like she's as beautiful as she is. Um, and North Node and South Node, yeah, of course, they're always going to be opposite of each other. I think that's pretty much all that I have to say. I've never used a little painter thing to try to point out where things are, and so it's kind of sloppy. Anyway, that's what I see on Katy Perry's chart. Thanks for listening.